I don't know him by sight. But I was chatting to him over there, and they're all right, I mean, and I said, I probably couldn't scout you in mid-start, but he said, you probably have. I said, I've been doing this since 1986, 78, like, I've heard some of you. I'll tell you who used to win it. Millwall up here. Is he coming up here?
Who was it? I don't know. Steve Ganson's seen him doing a Lions game. And we used to give him some shit.
Yeah.
His second team games just from and you can hear everything. I can't be at London, man. Who's the little commentary? I'm doing it all. I said, I don't like.
Good evening and warm welcome to the Shea Halifax for tonight's Super League 6 clash, round 20 of Super League 6, the match between the Halifax Blue Sox and the all-conquering Saints, the back-to-back Super League champions, the world champions and the current Challenge Cup holders. The Saints side for this evening: Paul Wellens at full-back, Steve Hall, Sean Hoppy, Kevin Iro and Anthony Sullivan, the three-quarters, Paul Sculthorpe and Tommy Martin, the half-back pairing, with David Furley, Kieran Cunningham and Wayne MacDonald in the front row, Tim Yonkers, John Stankovic, Chris Joyce wraps it up at the back, Peter Shields, Sonny Nicol, Vila Matautia and Mick Hyam on the interchange bench. The Halifax Blue Sox just coming on now, their side, Daniel Cardis at full-back, Jamie Bloom, Phil Hassan, Stuart Donlan and Damien Gibson. Gavin Clinch, Andrew Dunniman and Gavin Clinch, the half-back pairing. Brett Goldsmith, Johnny Lawless, Andy Hobson, the front row. Shane McMenemy, Jim Gannon and Danny Tickle wraps it up at loose forward. Adam Hughes, Martin Moana, Sean Penkovic and Ollie Marnes are on the interchange bench. Your two matchday mascots there, Josh Halliday, who's 7, and Isaac Baldwin, who's 4, just going off there on the far side. You're with Micron again, bringing you all the action. Matt is your cameraman, my name's Ron Hoof. Daryl McCall is joining me, championing the Halifax cause. So we should have a good game, shouldn't we? The Blue Sox kick off. Saints with first touch of possession. David Furley, he comes downfield. McMenemy, one of the tacklers in there. Andrew Dunniman with the headgear. Now it's Wayne MacDonald. He's in the front row. Sonny Nicol on the bench. Now it's with Tommy Martin. Speculating pass. The ball gone forward. The referee is Peter Taberner from Wigan. We always seem to have a Wigan connection. These pie eaters get everywhere, don't they, Donald?
And they like to tell you where they're from as well. Well, Steve Linane's picked a defensive line, or he hopes he has, for what could prove to be a tough task. Saints would be odds-on favourites for this, but when Halifax and Saints get together, the form book goes out of the window. Some close encounters. Wellens too late tries in last season's fixture here. And then Sean Hoppy in the match at Knowsley Road, sneaking it for the Saints 32-26 earlier in the season. Halifax's first real attack, Dunniman. Hassan got a hand to that, and the touch judge on the far side says knock on. Only a little one, but Hassan couldn't get his hand out of the way there, and Saints will get possession.
Yes, they all count, Donald, don't they? As you say, only a touch, and the pitch looks in excellent condition. Obviously, a credit to the groundsman, and obviously, when the stadium's finished, obviously it's coming on. It should be a good arena, shouldn't it? Hoppy tidies up the loose ball. Yonkers attacked in half. He brings it on the short side, gives it Iro. No way through. McMenemy in first. Oh, and the beast won't go down. Stood in the tackle. Gibson trying to put him down. David Furley. The big Aussie drives it forward. Scully, the man for the job, outstanding in the Saints ranks. Chris Joynt. In the loose forward berth today, with Scully moving up to stand off. Last one of this sequence of 6. Martin dabs it crossfield. Awkward bounce. Oh, it's gone. It's knocked dead by Halifax. I think Saints might have knocked it on first, Daddle. Got a hand to it, but I think it could be a 20 metre tap. I think that is the correct decision. I'm sure Saints got a hand to it before Halifax knocked it dead, Daddle.
Well, I think they did, but I think the kick confused Cardiff a bit when it went over the top, because there was Halifax player put their hand off, and I think it took a bit of a ricochet. But a let off for Halifax as Hobson pushes Tommy Martin out of the way. Clinch, short ball to Goldspink. Halifax, I think, trying to suck the Saints forwards into the middle and then move it out wide. Donovan to McMenamin, who gets over halfway. Tackled by Stankovic and MacDonald. Clinch, good ball onto Danny Tickle. Danny Tickle pops it up nicely for Clinch, and then almost away to Hassan. Halifax gets 6 more. Well, Hassan knocked on, but the Saints' hand went on it again, so he's playing the advantage. Gannon, 2 tries last week at Salford. Donovan, Goldspink, the dummy runner. Donovan went to Hobson, and Hobson's got Halifax to within 15 metres. Lawless brushes away Stankovic as Clinch gets it to Donovan, and Donovan turns round and releases to Cardiff, who tried to go under MacDonald and almost succeeded. Clinch bringing McMenamin back on the inside, straight into Cunningham and Stankovic. Just 5 metres away from that Saints line. Lawless to Clinch. Clinch the chip through, but nobody chasing. Well picked up there by Tommy Martin. Chance on here for Saints.
Well, there is now. The Beast's on his way. Puts it inside to Sullivan, and that's a try. No problem with that. Saints reply in kind. 4 minutes gone on the clock. Sullivan in for his 7th of the season. That all coming from Halifax pressure. They pressed on the Saints line. They was lucky they actually got the ball back. The referee waved the tackle count on. In my opinion, he was wrong there. It came from a forward pass in the first place. Saints didn't get any advantage. They may have got a hand to the ball, but the referee allowed play to go on. But Saints weathered the storm. Clinch tried to put the little kick through. Martin fielded it right on his own line. Kevin Iro loitering with intent on the far side. He gave it to Iro. He put the welly down. Sullivan came on the inside. Inside ball to Sullivan. Thank you very much. No problem. 4 points. Saints on the way. After that pressure, Darrell, bit of pill.
Yeah, but Halifax were always going forward on Clinch's chase. So as soon as Martin broke away and threw the first tackle, it was always a race back, and Iro, although he's lost a bit of pace over the years, he's still enough to make the first 50, and once you give it to Sullivan with clear ground, nobody's going to catch him.
No, that's it in open space. Sculthorpe there with a conversion, his 41st goal of the season, and obviously me and Darrell's been discussing before, he's the player, isn't he, the man for the job. He's played everywhere, obviously, loose forward, standoff, you name it, he's played it, and he's been doing the job when Martin and Long's been injured. So it's great, a great testimony. The Blue Sox to restart, a lofted ball. Wellens underneath it, no problem, gives it to Furley, the big man, builds up head of steam, drives it forward. Cunningham can't get away, but he releases the ball. The referee likes keeping the game flowing, and this is what we like. Steve Hall, infield, looking to relieve a little bit of pressure from the forwards. Quite warm evening. Scully puts a speculator. Iro out again. Last one of the sequence. Tommy Martin to Sculthorpe now, dabs it through for the corner. No problem, Gibson right underneath it, and this man can put the welly down, can't he, Daddle?
He's found a gap as Gibson. It was only a tap by Fairley that knocked him off balance. Wellens was coming back, but I think Gibson might have got a lot closer to the line had he not been off his stride. Hassan over halfway. End-to-end stuff in the opening minutes. Hobson making one of his rare starts. Made about 17 off the bench this season as Hobson. Cardiff. Very quick unload from Goldspink. Cardiff's unable to capitalise. Duneman switching play back. Gannon, the man that waited for it to bounce up. Halifax again. Looking like it could be a slow start. Last tackle. Goldspink's the kicker. Well, he's put it in the right place. Steve Hall comes up with it. Well, not bad that, considering it came from a kick from a prop forward.
But a man of many talents. Coached well while he was at the St Helens team, Darrell. Wayne MacDonald. Good tackling, he gets the ball out to the back. Martin to Joint. Joint to Iro. Iro's lost it. Shot forward. Sullivan comes up with it, but Iro just couldn't hold it. Good solid tackling, obviously whether that contributed to him losing the possession, Darrell, but head and feed for the Blue Sox. 8 minutes gone. 6 points to 0 in favour of the Saints.
Well, apart from that one lapse where Halifax were going forward and Saints were allowed to go at the end of the field, so far Steve Linnane's defensive plan seems to be working. Duneman caught by Wellens. Aye, but not that high, says the referee. High enough for Duneman to adjust the headgear back into place. Goldspink trying to step through the tackles of MacDonald and Joint. Clinch to Hobson. Hobson, Cumberland throw from Tony Martin. Clinch claiming there was a trip in there, but there were hands on. Long ball out, Duneman. Chip through, no Cardiff to chase. Steve Hall put behind his own line. Now the chase is on, but Steve Hall comes away with it.
Yes, he's well taken there. Sean Hoppy had come back on the inside. He did well there, did Steve Hall. Now it's with Hoppy, offering the ball on the inside. Duneman, one of the tacklers there. Inside to David Furley, the big Aussie, just short of the halfway line. Saints making good yardage. Inside to Stankovic now, another lad that's been playing well. Well, they've all been playing well, the Saints, haven't they? Pick a bad one if you can. MacDonald! Out to the back door, Martin Yonkers. Lovely stuff, throwing the ball about. Scully unloads it to Wellens. Wellens takes it up centre field. Lovely ball out to Cunningham. Cunningham still pumping forward. It's a try. Super try by Cunningham. Entertaining rugby, enterprising rugby. Lovely hands by the Saints. Cunningham with the second after 10 minutes. Quite a few pair of hands it went through there. We know Saints are the entertainers. Cunningham in for his 12th of the season. And the travelling spectators to our left. It's all red and white in that end stand there, the stand to the left of our commentary position here at the Shea. But what a try, finished by Cunningham. It still had to be scored. Saints throwing it about. Hall started it near the Saints line again, and more or less you can say full length of the field, try again, Darrell.
Well, there were two players on Steve Hall when he took the ball behind his own line. One of them should have had him. They didn't lay a hand on him, and he made it, I think, 15 metres away from the Saints line. But that is just breathtaking rugby. There's nothing more you can say. The tacklers were there, but the ball still came out. And Saints, when they do that, they just, nobody can touch him.
Yes, and I hope they carry it on for the full 80. We've had 10, so obviously 70 to go. Paul Sculthorpe again, looking for his second of the afternoon, and to give the Saints a 12 points to 0 lead, which he does. No problem, pinpoint precision. Blue Sox 0, Saints 12. Saints in third position, Blue Sox I think they're in about 9th position in the league, and as Daniel said before, you get these sides together, and especially at Thrum Hall or the Shea, or obviously over this side it's the Shea now, the regular home venue. There's usually not much in them. I think 8 points is the most we've had between these two sides in the finishing score, but anything can happen. Now we know the Blue Sox can rally as of late, but Cunningham again takes 4 to bring him down after he'd pushed off the first line of defence. Martin, reverse angle pass. MacDonald moves it to the left flank. Well, the referee there wanted him onside. He's pulled up for a knock-on. Looking for the quick play of the ball. Saints come up with a mistake. Head and feed to the Blue Sox.
Yeah, again, it's only a little one. Just rolling off the end of MacDonald's fingertips. As Clinch feeds, Duneman. Kick and chase off the first tackle. Cardis against all. All takes it. Defence there this time, but all was going. Had to go down safely on it anyway.
Yes, obviously a good ploy. Saints well up. Hall did well to get back. Covered up well. Sculthorpe looking to release it. Couldn't get it away. Sean Hoppy. Gannon there brings him down, along with Goldspink, and Furley driving the ball up again. Matautia on the bench, obviously Peter Shields back after a family bereavement. Sculthorpe, well, it's deflected. It's still on the 6th tackle, I think, as Stankovic puts it out. Saints keep it going, Martin, off Iro, it's on the 6th tackle, it's Wellens, joint, back to Yonkers. Lovely rugby, champagne rugby. MacDonald, can he get it out? He does. David Furley over the top again. Oh, basketball stuff, tremendous. Saints are keeping it going. Now they've lost ground. Iro's knocked it forward. The referee plays advantage. Clinch has it.
Well, joint all over Clinch. Clinch wants to get on with the penalty. But again, Halifax hanging off and letting Saints pass the ball about virtually at will there on the last tackle, so understandably 1 or 2 hanging back for the kick, which never came. But Saints allowed to throw the ball about at will again. And Halifax again struggling to come to terms with it as Hobson dumped to the ground. Halifax still looking for the first points. Goldspink charging in. Takes the Blue Sox to within 18 metres. Clinch, Duneman turns it back inside to Tickle. Tickle to McMenemy. McMenemy with a step, but loses possession. Picked up behind the Saints line. The first real chance that Halifax have had, and McMenemy just putting the ball down. But the Saints defence were opened up by the inside ball to Tickle. McMenemy just unable to keep hold of the last pass.
Yes, Daryl, and I think he'd have scored there, wouldn't he? If he was moving along a bit, wasn't he, the big lad? And the Saints spectators getting behind the Saints there. Well, I don't know what was going on there. The referee. Right. Loose forward holding the ball in at the scrum. Blue Sox moving up, trying to get the penalty. Wasn't forthcoming. Saints move it left. Furley again. Watch the big man go. Trips it to Iro. Out to Sullivan. He comes inside. The support from Joint. Support back to Sullivan. It goes to Martin. That's all the way. That's another try for the Saints. Good handling there. Referee Taberner points to it. It's a try. Darrell seems to think there was a knock on in back play. But you'd expect Darrell to say that, wouldn't you? You know, having blue and white eyes as opposed to my red and white eyes. but he still says Wayne MacDonald knocked it forward. It might have only been a little and daddle and he hadn't seen it, but great play. It went out to Iro, onto Sullivan, back inside again, and then Joint, and I think it was Joint that tipped it on to Martin, and Martin in for the 4-pointer. Give us your views on that then, Daddle, I'd love.
I was still staring in disbelief where Wayne MacDonald had knocked on. Well, he knocked it on and then he played it scrappily anyway. But even so, Halifax was stood watching and waiting for the decision. By the time they realised it weren't coming, it was too late, and Gavin Clinch complaining to the referee all the way back to where Martin scored. Halifax are in dire trouble because Saints just throwing the ball round at will, and Halifax just can't keep up with it. But MacDonald still had a little knock on.
But maybe, obviously, maybe, as you say, a bit fortuitous with the ball coming back and bouncing into Tommy's hands, but they all count. Scully looking for his third. 3 tries there, Sullivan, Cunningham and Martin. 16 minutes gone. Sculthorpe gets the extras, 18-0. Salford Reds were Halifax last opponents last week. They beat them 50 points to 34. Saints play them next week, and I believe their coach has resigned earlier on today, John Harvey, and that usually spurs a side on, doesn't it, if the man at the top's gone, and whoever takes over, he obviously he's looking for the job, whoever it may be. Stephen Neal perhaps will be in charge. Short kick off, Stankovic puts it back, in danger of being forced into touch. He did well. Steve Hall comes up with it. Big hit there. Goldspink and Gannon. Hop it, straightens it up, bounces off the first line of defence. Certainly Steve Linnane, the Halifax coach, will have some stern talking to do at half-time, provided Halifax don't get on the board. MacDonald drives it through. Looking to unload, he puts it back, that's a knock-on. Yes, that's a knock-on, as Wellens couldn't take it. May have been a forward pass before he actually couldn't just get his hands to it, Paul Wellens. Very unlucky there. Yes, I even spotted that one, Daddle.
Well, your lenses on your glasses are a lot thicker than mine, so they must be harder to see through. Cardis comes in at stand-off, but Wellens follows him all the way across. Philosan. And it's a thin 10 that Saints are going back at the moment. Gannon. Brought to ground by Cunningham. Lawless fires one to Goldspink, and Goldspink unloads despite the attention of Stankovic, who carried on, then got to Lawless. And Stankovic went for the high tackle. Goldspink again. Stankovic closes in. There was 2 already there. Lawless trying to go through the defence, and Lawless almost there. Onto the whitewash, just couldn't get the ball down. Clinch to Gannon, and Gannon no way through there really for the prop. Duneman, long ball out wide to Hassan, but Sullivan waiting. As soon as he got hold of the ball, Hassan was nailed. Halifax have made a change with Adam Hughes on for Andy Hobson. Clinch round the back to Cardis. 1 step, 2 step, still going. Not making any ground forward though. Running across the face of 4 defenders. Last tackle, Duneman puts one into the corner towards Steve Hall and Donlan, but Steve Hall diffuses it well behind his own line. Not the best of kicks, but the touch judge is on, he's seen something there. Well, Steve Hall was allowed to come back to the ground when he took the ball. Somebody's going in the sin bin. Looks like Shane McMenemy. Well, I'm not sure what that's for, because there didn't seem to be anything went on. He certainly wasn't tackled in the air. They waited till he got to the ground. But it's the touch judge that seems to have made that decision.
No, we don't know what it was for. Obviously, the touch judge coming on and giving the nod. But it's McMenemy that's been dispatched to the sin bin for 10 minutes. Sonny Nichols come on for Wayne MacDonald. Saints have the possession. Wellens, Sculthorpe, misses out Stankovic, gives it to Yonkers, inside to Hoppy. Hoppy's taken inside the 20. Saints put it in field. Sonny Nicholl, fresh man on, drives it forward. 8 metres short of the Blue Sox line. Saints looking to register the 4th try. Yonkers 5 metres short now. Cunningham, will he go on his own? Yes. Has he got the ball down? Consultation, early skip, held up. It's still going to be Saints.
Referee stood over top of it.
Well, as Darrell says, the referee was stood on top of it. Whether he obviously claimed that his view was impeded. He asked the in-goal touch judge there, and he said he was held up. And Saints head and feed. There we are, out of the scrum. Martin, Iro, the beast well taken, and it had to be 2. Saints going to put the pressure on now, looking to register the 4th try. As Nicholl again clawing away. Will the Blue Sox defence fade? Furley, hit and spin. Yes, that's a try. He touched it down there. No danger about that. Referee'll point. David Furley, 24 minutes into the first half, registers his 6th try. And what an influence Furley's been in the Saints pack this season. Good running by the Saints, obviously held up over the line. Cunningham, head and feet to the Saints at the scrum restart, with being held up over the line. Saints moved it to the left. Tommy Martin moving it out to Iro. Iro tackled, the ball played inside. Furley on the end of it, no problem. 4 points. One-way traffic, Darrell.
Well, Halifax were struggling enough with 13 men. They're going to struggle for the next 10 with 12.
Yeah.
But Halifax were under the cosh anyway. They'd held up Cunningham as he went over, and then defending, say, with 12 men for another 6 tackles.
Yeah.
Virtually impossible, especially against a team like Saints.
Yes, they're playing outstanding rugby. Obviously, Saints have won the last 2 games, as have the Blue Sox. A win against Cast, 22-16, and 50 points to 34, as we said, against the Salford Reds last week. And Saints have Salford next week. That's obviously a different kettle of fish. Sculthorpe with his 4th goal, 24 points to 0. Saints with 2 great wins. Obviously Warrington, who's gone right down the pan, haven't they? They've beaten 70 points to 16, and then a good win against the Leeds Rhinos, 46-24. Especially for the Saints after losing the previous 2, once against the Pie Eaters and then against Hull away at the Boulevard. Well, there we go. 24-0. Jamie Bloom to restart. Puts it high. Wellens underneath it. Takes it comfortably inside to Hall. Taken on the 10-metre line. Furley again, driving it up. Blind side now. Cunningham brings it to Sculthorpe. He unloads to Yonkers. 3 in to bring him down. Lawless, Dunniman and Donlan. But Stankovic just taken off his stride there, just below our commentary position. Scully misses Nicholl out. Interception there. Tommy Martin did well. Took him as he got the ball. The Blue Sox in possession.
Well, I think there were a few claims for a trip by Martin there on Adam Hughes. Got him at the 2nd attempt though. Halifax in desperate need of posting some points. Cardis takes it from Goldspink. Not allowed to make any ground. Closely watched by Martin. Lawless from acting half. Duneman looking for a gap. Taken by Nicol and Iro. Clinch to Bloom, who's running back into heavy traffic down there. Manages to unload though. Gannon gets it to Clinch. Now Halifax might catch Saints, but it's Duneman. Carved an opening up the middle. Of course, panicking the Saints defence. Still managed the pass. Clinch kicking through. This is going to be a try. Well, it doesn't matter how you get them, but Halifax played Saints at their own game there, with Goldspink keeping it alive to Cardis. And Cardis keeping it alive. Duneman, Bloom looked like he'd gone down the heavy traffic. He managed to get the ball out. Duneman turned back inside. He looked like he was going to get into all sorts of trouble. Clinch gets the ball. And the perfect chip through. And I think Cardis had already set off running for that 2 passes before. Because difficult to run through the Saints defence. But a little bit of space there. Put the ball there and Cardis will be there every time for it.
Yeah, he's a fair turn of pace, hasn't he, there? And obviously we know a planned ploy. Halifax use that regular, as do the Saints, obviously putting the ball through. And Cardis, no problem. Speed merchant, got on the end of it. The Blue Sox did well. They spread the ball about, as Daniel said, giving Saints a bit of their own medicine there. Keeping the ball alive, turning it back inside, and Saints scrambling defence just couldn't scramble back quickly enough. Tickle now for the goal.
Well, fairly successful, over 80% with the boot, as Danny Tickle. That one's gone over, so he's kept up the average, and the points that Halifax, I said, were desperate for. Cardis has come up with the first 4-pointer. And bearing in mind that Halifax always chase the game and always let the other side get in front. Difficult to come back again, more difficult to come back against Saints. But they did it against Castleford, they did it against Salford. Duneman inside to Gannon. And a big hit there from Stankovic. Cardis again involved. Sonny Nicol trying to take his head off. Not so, says the referee. Goldspink. Tommy Martin pushed away at the first attempt, turned him over after Joint had slowed him down. Gibson, who for 2 weeks has been in the Opta team of the week. Duneman, not the 40-20, trying to find a bit of space and force Steve Hall back, and it cost Halifax a try last time they did that.
Hall unloads it. Wellens has it. Hall's took a big hit. I think it was maybe Donlan that went in. Was it? I just took my eye off it, but obviously Steve Hall not in a well state. Saints physio comes on to treat him. So both sides down to 12 players. As Furley brings it up short of the halfway line. 24 points to 6. As Sculthorpe finds Halifax territory. Cunningham away from the dummy half. Speculator stopped by Iro's foot. Then he comes back inside, pushes one off. Second phase of attack, or defence, perhaps I should say, gets to him. Well, what's the referee given? He's got his hand in the air. Is he given a turnover? Oh no, he stopped the game for the injury to Steve Hall, I think. But Hall gets up. It's the last tackle of this set of 6, I do believe. Sculthorpe dabs it for the corner. Donlan underneath it. Donlan gets past 2. Straightens it up, now moves it over to the right. Chris Joint comes to meet him.
Well, Donlan's safe under the high ball. Actually signed as a full-back. Halifax are littered with full-backs in the back line with Donlan, Gibson, Cardis, and Bloom's a full-back as well. Goldspink pushes away Tommy Martin again, but Iro and Joint combined to stop the prop just short of halfway. Clinch to Duneman, Tickle the dummy runner. Duneman has given it to Bloom, and Bloom tipped it forward. There's got to be a play on there. It's the last tackle. Joint made no attempt to get out of the way. Clinch has gone for the high one, but it's come off the wrong side of the foot. So the chase needs to be on again, as Helens leaves Adam Hughes. Thinks about passing it to Sullivan, but thought better of it and took the tackle.
Yes, maybe too much Halifax pressure there. Steve Hall gets it away to Yonkers. The Blue Sox attack coming in. A penalty against the Blue Sox for holding in the tackle.
Who's that with?
Oh, Steve Hall going off. Peter Shields coming on. Reshuffle in the Saints line-up. Hall the winger. Shields the forward. Martin to Yonkers. Once again the Saints move from their own line into dangerous territory. Sonny Nicol takes it stood still. Unloads it again. Saints still trying to throw it about. The Blue Sox do the tackling. Short side again. Shields, lovely ball to Furley. He's twisted round. I think it was Gannon that completed the tackle. 5 metres now, Saints in a good striking position. Martin on his own, touched Blue Sox hand. That should be another set of 6. Well, it's going to give a knock on, isn't he? And he's going to give head and feed to the Saints, which he does. Good spell of attack by the Saints. Blue Sox obviously forced to defend and just getting a hand in. Just getting a hand in and forcing the knock on. So a set of 6 for the Saints here. There's Martin inside to Iro. Iro pirouettes, comes back. Sculthorpe, yes, easy. There he goes, Sculthorpe arcs round, touches down for the try. Touches down before going over the dead ball line. Donald thought he was perilously close. I thought he was perilously close, but the referee, the in-goal touch judge, have give it. So it must be a try, Donald. But I think it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Saints again coming from pressure by Halifax from their own line, coming more or less the full length of the field. Obviously getting the penalty there, and well, not the penalty, getting the scrum feed for the knock-on, and that set of 6 within the Halifax 20-metre line, and I think the writing was on the wall, my friend.
Well, I know you think I'm on a bit, but Halifax firing all cylinders to keep Saints in their own 20 there. And I have a feeling, or it looked like the referee was looking to penalise Halifax from the way they were going in. So they were always on the back foot from the minute the penalty was taken, as Saints came forward again.
So Scully looking to convert his own try. He's kept a clean sheet so far, and I wouldn't imagine this will be any different. Adapted to the kicking duties very well, even though we know Tommy Martin's on. He's just only kicked 6 this season. Scully now just gets it over the bar and between the uprights for his 5th goal, his 45th of the season, with 5 minutes to the interval, and it's Blue Sox 6, Saints 30. Duniman discarded the headgear, must be getting a little still warm down there. And Bloom to put it high in the air. Helens again underneath it. Infield to Peter Shields. Shields breaks through, sidesteps the... David Furley, I do beg your pardon. Sidesteps the referee as well. Here's Shields in centre field. Just can't get the staff, can you? Your own team when you get them wrong. That's how it goes, don't it? Even the best of us make mistakes, don't we, Donald? But great tackling by the Blue Sox, lifting the Saints man and pushing him back. And Bloom and Furley just eyeing each other up. Aussie versus South African. Good test match, that. Along the line, Helens Sculthorpe inside, now it's Shields. Can't control it, the ball rolled forward. Scrum down, head and feed to the Blue Sox. Referee Taberner indicating. And Clinch will feed the scrum.
Well, don't know what Halifax have to do. Duneman out to Hughes. And Hughes, just tapped by Martin and gets up and has another crack. Sullivan puts him down. But two close chances that Hughes has had in open space, and it's been Tommy Martin that's knocked him off balance on both occasions. Halifax going forward again with Goldspink, who's clattered by Nicol. Crunching tackle by Sonny Nicol.
Yes, wasn't it a rasp of that by Sonny on Goldspink? The sheer ferocity of the tackle dislodged the ball from his hands. Saints have the possession. Hoppy bringing it on the short side. No way through for him. Donlan and Gibson. Now it's Shields. Quickly, three-man tackle there into Peter Shields. Now it's Furley. He straightens it up. Lawless. Good tackle. The Blue Sox urge to get back onside. I don't think the referee's not pegged us, not pegged either side for an offside yet, has he, Darrell? He's keeping it. He's keeping it flowing, if that's the correct term. Adam Hughes takes it well and just held in his own 20.
We'll look for the pass to Cardis there, but Cardis was half a mile away. As Hassan manages to unload out of the tackle, Gannon drives it forward. Lawless up from acting half, driving it up to halfway. Well, he's looking, but he's not doing anything about it. Duneman, long ball out wide again to Adam Hughes, who'll bring it inside, ducks under the swinging arm of Tony Iro. But reinforcements there before Hughes allowed to make any ground. Clinch, Duneman, Halifax have options on this far side. Well taken by Donlan. Steps inside, Donlan keeps his feet, has he the pace. Gibson in support, but the defence getting across. Stankovic all over Donlan. Last tackle, Duneman to Clinch. Clinch kick to the corner. Pressure on here. Donlan up first for it. Did he get it down? No, it'll come back to the 20. Donlan knocked on. Threw himself at that one.
Yes, obviously Halifax knew time was nearly up in the first half. Put it to the corner, couldn't be taken. Before the 20-metre restart, the half-time hoot has blown. Half-time here at the Shea. Halifax 6, Saints 30. Sullivan opened it in the 4th minute. Scully goaled it. 6 minutes later, Cunningham in for the try. And once again, Sculthorpe with the conversion. Lovely finish by Tommy Martin after the ball thrown out. Plenty of hands involved. Quite a fortuitous touch at the end. I know it's all part of the plan.
I was talking to Ron Hill once last week. He were telling me, he said, when Edmonton were at Sheffield, I didn't know this. He said, when he were at Sheffield, if you say you're a 17-year-old kid playing in amateur, he signed you. He'd sign you to a contract that he owned, not Sheffield. And if you made it at 19, then he'd sell you to Sheffield. Talk about spin.
When you looked at Wigan, when you see the beginning of the season, when you say who's in at all clubs, and you ever see Wigan had about 20 players. They were all academy lads. They signed them for £5,000. And then they'd play them, and we'd get a run out in Alliance team. And they'd put them out. So Lions,
Back with you now at the Shea. Saints in a commanding 30 points to 6 lead. Stern talking from Steve Linnane. Darrell at half-time, I would imagine. And I could imagine that Ian Millwood will be very pleased with the Saints' performance.
Well, Steve Linnane's had to do it for the two previous matches now. Only this one is 24 points difference. It's a lot to come back. Halifax came back against Castleford, they came back against Salford. Only the third set of back-to-back wins this season. And if they had won today, they would have jumped up a place for what it was worth. Still 8 or 9 points off the pace for the top 5. But they always knew it was going to be tough. They've Bradford this week, Saints this week, sorry. Bulls next week, Leeds away the week after.
Don't get any better, does it?
So a tough run into the end of the season for the Blue Sox, and a tough run into the last 40 minutes of this game as Goldspink's brought down a metre away. Last tackle of this set of 6. Back to Duneman, who's launched one for Cardiff to chase. Wellens underneath it, almost rugby union type, making a mark there.
He took it well, obviously under pressure from Cardiff. Sullivan come in field. Jamie Bloom all over him like a rash, but we get away with it, and Sean Hoppy just outside his own 20. It's going to be a big ask. 24 points in arrears. 4 converted tries plus another. Furley, Wellens ducks under the tackle, gets clattered by Bloom as he gets into Halifax territory. Last one of the sequence. Martin, Yonkers, Iro with the dummy, puts it back to Joint. The ball's knocked forward. Blue Sox come up with it.
Cardiff's a long way to go, and that surely must be a high tackle clinch. He's trying to look after his man, fairly nearly took Cardiff's head off then. Gavin Clinch is a brave man, trying to drag David Fairley off.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when Clinch came in, but Fairley there, it was a good hard tackle on Cardiff. Obviously they thought it was too high, and there was nothing in it, but Clinch, as you said, coming in, I mean, dearie me.
Just thought
little and large show.
Just thought it was too high, eh? Well, I think there's a few thousand that disagree with that one. But Gannon driving the ball up again, Saints struggling to make the 10 on the first one. Taking them back a bit further this time. In goes Goldspink, former Saints player, of course. Tremendous run from Goldspink, powering his way towards that Saints line. And being slowed down as he tried to get up and play it. Clinch to Duneman. Options running out. Well, Saints have kicked it forward there, but it'll come back for the knock on. But what a tremendous run from Goldspink.
It was a good run, and then the ball out from Clinch to Duneman, and it was dipping. He couldn't take it. Halifax were on a roll there. Just 3 minutes gone at the second half. Sculthorpe in possession. Started off quite lively, hasn't it, in this second period? Tommy Martin, drop-off ball to Chris Joint, looking for support, looking to give it to Sonny Nicol, thought better of it, took the tackle of Tickle and Lawless. Now Nicol has the possession, just inside Halifax territory. Wellens linking up from the back, Lawless with the tackle, Bloom finishes him off. Sculthorpe. Last one. Infield. Cunningham. Martin. Martin will dab it. Oh, he puts it high. Pressure. Wellens under it. 20-metre tap. Restart for the Blue Sox.
Donlan came in to help out the situation there. Gibson making 10, running 20 to make it. Philosan up from acting half. Joint the tackler again as Sam makes good yards up towards halfway. Gannon. Not the man to expect a pass from. Here goes Lawless from acting half. Halifax have made good yards, but it's been one-man stuff. Duneman left that one for Clint. Bloom pumping the legs. 2 men in there, that'll be a penalty. Well, I don't think Halifax will be going for the 2. Goalspink again driving towards that Saints line, not with just as much venom as he did last time, but he's taking the Blue Sox to within 12 metres. Lawless to Bloom. Bloom almost outside Martin, trying to spin out of the tackles. Joint wraps him up eventually. Halifax 4 metres away. Clinch, tickle the dunny runner. Duneman looking for support. Clinch manages to get there, brings Cardis on the inside, and Cardis unable to get underneath the Saints defence. Clinch, tickle again the dunny runner. Clinch goes for the gap. Cunningham cuts it out. The ball goes to ground. Saints come up with it.
Yeah, just a little lack of idea, I think, there in the end, or the players not understanding what was going on, and the ball back in Saints' hands. Tommy Martin, the speculator to Iro, well taken. Now it's Sonny Nicol. Hughes again in at the tackle with Clinch. And Danny Tickle. Sculthorpe straightens it up. Furley was on his right shoulder, he couldn't release it. Saints are spreading it. Shields outside. Hoppy. Last one again for the Saints. 7 minutes gone. No addition to the half-time score of 30 points to 6. Sculthorpe puts it high. Martin's chasing it. Well taken.
Good take by Philosan, and a good return as well back over the 20. Looked a little bit nervous as the ball came. Here goes Bloom, charging into Tommy Martin. Iro already on his back. Clint short ball to Gannon, and Gannon just over halfway. Clint to McMenemy, tries to brush Sculthorpe away, but Stankovic finishes him off. Cardis in at acting half. Duneman long ball to Bloom. Bloom kicks through, chase on here for the corner. Bloom's made the touch. It'll mean Saints get there and feed, but Halifax, if they can marshal the defences, might be able to make a little bit of something out of it. At least it keeps Saints at the right end of the field as far as Halifax are concerned.
Yeah, Saints pegged in their own 20. Well, 10 metres scrum, 20 metres in from the main stand side here. Bloom with the kick through. We could have done with it curling back inside because Saints were stretched there, and Halifax were pressing. Yonkers has it. Centre field, 10 metres from his own line. Shields, speculated out to Hoppy, looking for a bit of space. Bounces off the first tackler, but it comes back in to redeem himself. Shields straightens it up. Cunningham, inside ball, Furley, Martin, overlap, Sculthorpe, up the middle, overlap again for the Saints, men lining up, Yonkers comes in field, it takes the tackle, Saints keep it alive, Wellens over the top, Furley out of the tackle, drives again, and Furley there, took 4 men on, now he's with Sculthorpe, lovely ball to Cunningham, out of the back door, last one of the sequence. Martin, Wellens, lovely hands, Iro, inside to Sullivan, Sullivan chips it for the corner.
Gone out of play.
Veered, touching goal, 20-metre tap restart to the Blue Sox. Saints keeping it alive again, and once again, Donald, coming virtually the full length of the field.
Well, I thought Halifax might have a platform to build on if they could have kept Saints in their own 20. But again, Saints just swinging the ball about. Here goes Gibson from acting half. Saints just swinging the ball about, and Halifax chasing it all the time. Now Goldspink running. Halifax seem to be playing a lot of running at Tommy Martin. Not the best of passes, well taken by Duneman, and then Donlan, who steps inside. Nicol brings him down, and Halifax supporters seem to have seen something that went on there. Clinch. Not the best of passes, and Saints will pick it up on the far side of the field and try to force the Saints man up into touch, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, bad pass. Bad pass by the Blue Sox, and Saints came up with it as they tried to force Hoppy into touch. The referee moves in. Infringement at the play of the ball.
Watching both sides do it all the time.
Nothing in it, really. Nothing. We've seen worse throughout the game. But what a kick by Martin. 5 metres from the Blue Sox line. Well, he's brought back to the 10. Sculthorpe, Cunningham along the line. Wellens misses out Martin, gives it to Joint. Joint sees the gap, puts it inside. Yonkers has it. Brings it centre field. Still 10 metres out. The tackle completed. Cunningham goes on his own. Will he make it? Yes is the answer. To the left of the sticks. The first score of the second half. 11 minutes gone. Cunningham with his second of the afternoon, of the evening perhaps I should say, and his 13th of the season. You're more or less assured at that distance, with Cunningham taking it from the acting half position, the finest hooker in the world, and barging his way over, with the Halifax players trying to bring him down, but he's just so much power. Darrell.
Do you know, it shows how much I know about rugby, because I thought Eddie and Steve-O said Jimmy Lowes is the finest hooker in the world. But then again, with Steve-O's praises of Jimmy Lowes, I think he's related to him in some way.
Well, that's another story, but we'll not pursue that. But yes, Cunningham, obviously, I mean, they are there to obviously promote the game just as we are promoting our teams, Darrell, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Saints' 6th try of the afternoon, of the evening. It's strange, obviously, playing on a Sunday and Sunday evening. We've had a lot of Friday and Saturday games. Obviously, you'd expect that, being Super League champions, Challenge Cup holders and world champions, as Sculthorpe converts it. He's 6 out of 6 from the boot. Blue Sox 6, Saints 36. So Moana on for Tickle, a straight positional swap. Saints with David Furley playing out of his skin, driving it forward, and even before, when he was involved in that altercation, he's not a dirty player, is Furley. If it did go high, it was a mistake. Cunningham inside, Sonny Nicol. Here endeth the first lesson. Once again, Saints move it to the right. Sculthorpe looking to draw the man in. Puts the hand out to fend off McMenemy. Wellens straightens it up. In at the full-back berth. Obviously, he's been playing at scrum half for the last few games. Tony Stewart in at full-back, but he's injured. And therefore, Sculthorpe back in with Martin at the half-back pairing. Martin puts it through. The Blue Sox have it. Can they do anything with it?
Well, little Cardis could do, as the Saints numbers moved up towards him. Philosan drives it forward. Hobson back on for Goldspink. Martin sticking out the leg again, I think, as Hobson goes down. Cannon from short range. Never break that Saints defence down from there. Clinch out to Duneman. Duneman round the outside trying to find an opening. And Saints have pegged Halifax in their own half again. It's the last tackle. McMenemy off the side of the boot. Well, that could be a good kick. Oh, it's just gone touchy goal. Pure speculation there from McMenemy on the last tackle, and it shows, I think, the amount of disorganisation within the Halifax attack.
Yes, you're probably right. Matauti on now for nickel. Just not having the best of luck with the run of the ball out of the Blue Sox. And Matauti first touch. Popular figure throughout all rugby league grounds is Vila Matauti, as is Sonny Nickel, the man he's just replaced. Saints in possession, just short of halfway line, leading by 36 points to 6. It's Vila's last season. As the ball's away to Martin, Iro comes in field, breaks the cover defence, Iro inside, oh, loose ball. Blue Sox kick it forward. It's gone into touch, it'll be head and feet to the Saints at the scrum. Mandu Bloom is having a chat with the referee, then if the referee comes and has a chat to the touch judge now, come on, is he going to give the knock on originally? I think he may do. Oh, he's given head and feet to the Saints. Strange decision maybe there, Darrell. I think Saints maybe have not lost the ball, knocked it forward pass or whatever. The Blue Sox kicked at it, and after consultation, Saints given head and feed at the scrum. Wellens is feeding. Martin gets the ball away. It's with Sean Hoppy, looking to round his man and move it over to the right flank. Hall back on for the Saints. Didn't just get that substitution, whether he's just come on. He's on the right flank now. But Saints are pressing. 8 metres from the Blue Sox line. 17 minutes of the second half gone. Blue Sox 6, Saints 36. Couldn't say that when you're full of ale, could you? But the Blue Sox touch it again. The chase is on. Clinch is away. He's not going to make it.
Referee looked at touches there. Clinch is going to go all the way. Neither Iro nor Hoppy could catch him. Clinch got a lucky bounce as the first touch. I think it was Donlan went for the intercept. Referee immediately looked at the touch judge. But Clinch comes up with a marvellous try and had to be lifted to his feet after he put the ball down. Clinch try takes Halifax into double figures, and he wouldn't have bet on Clinch making it from 80 metres.
I didn't think he would, yeah.
Not the fastest of scrum halves. I'm sure he'd have preferred Cardiff to do it because it's easy meat for him. But Clinch has got the 4-pointer. Bloom's added on the extra 2. An interesting decision there, but going back to that scrum where Bloom had kicked it forward, just after the kick-off to the second half, Halifax knocked on in the Saints 20, and Saints played it with a foot, and he said there's no advantage and give head and feet to Saints. So he's made the 2 different decisions to virtually the same movement of play. Sculthorpe goes for the short one. Halifax have fallen for that with Lee Breers earlier this season. He did that when Warrington stole the win here, and now they've done it, not marking the touch again, and Sculthorpe acres of space on that far side, and Saints looking for an immediate response.
Yes, and every chance of getting it here with head and feet at the scrum. Yonkers twists, turns, takes it up to the 20-metre line. Moana in with the tackle. Wellens moves it to the right. Sculthorpe, Hoppy driving forward, 2 out of the 6. Awkward ball taken by Cunningham, out to Martin. Vila lurking on the inside, twists, turns round, spins, pirouettes, touches it down. Referee Taberner points to it. 20 minutes gone. And Vila in for his 2nd of the season. And as Darrell's crying out forward pass, and it certainly looked a little suspicious from our angle where we were, and the referee allowed play on, and obviously the 4th official in the stand in touch with the referee. He must have been happy with it. It's all a matter of angles, but it looked a little suspicious, Darrell, didn't it?
Just a little. Just a little, but it didn't matter. Matautia played to the whistle, as you should do. And there was the immediate response from Saints.
Yes, you're right, but Sculthorpe, clean sheet there, 7 out of 7. 42-12, 30-point cushion. A great fillip, as we said before, when you come to Halifax. In the past, they're usually tight games, 8 points the biggest difference between the sides, 26-18 in 1997. It's always a different thing at St Helens. Halifax usually get the bottom smacked, but it wasn't the case this season. 8 points again, 32-26. The Blue Sox with only 1 win in... Saints nearly get mixed up there, but Hall comes up with it. Only 1 win for the Blue Sox, 16 points to 10 in 1998.
32-26. 8 points.
6 points, beg your pardon. No, just testing, Darrell. But 6 points to 26-32. Trying a goal. Just can't get the staff. It's a long time since I left school. Just run out of fingers and toes. But it's Cunningham bringing it away. He's taken down just outside the 20. Furley, Martin, inside to Yonkers. Looked a big hole, quickly closed down. Moana with the tackle.
He's never played it.
They never do, Darrell. Sculthorpe dabs it over the top. The Blue Sox will have the possession again.
Gibson coming back. Step Martin into the arms of Iro. Philosan looking for a way, makes 10 metres and then pulls back 3. Moana receiving treatment. Gibson goes again. But Halifax being pushed back in the tackle. Cannon, not the best of passes to McMenemy. McMenemy trying to make the best of it, drags himself over halfway. Lawless from acting half. Halifax inside the Saints half, last tackle a long way from that line. Cardis will put it up for Cardis to chase, but it's going the other way. Donlan took Steve Hall. Steve Hall was slow to get to his feet. Donlan got him on the way back.
Yes, he did well there. What a towering kick from Dunniman. And Hall come up with it. Well, a little bit of mauling there at the play of the ball. And Matautia attracts 3 and 4. Finally wrestled to the ground. Martin, left foot, puts it upfield. Looking for the 40-20, but it's curled infield. Hassan.
Had to go a long way back for it, did Philosan. Does well to bring it back to the 20. Adam Hughes from acting half. Trimmed to the ground by Fairley. Hobson only just taking that one from Lawless. Can't get through Shields. Plays it quickly. Lawless away from acting half and looking for a gap. Penalty being given. for the high tackle, and McMenemy has made a mess of the kick, wasted possession. Well, again, McMenemy, quite right, quick to get on with it, but he's got all the time in the world because he had to wait for the Saints players to come back. He was trying to make the ground and he surrendered possession.
Yes, the cardinal sin.
It's a dropout.
Well, not surrendering possession, but it meant that Saints dropping out on the 20, forcing Halifax back into their own now. Cardiff brings it back almost to halfway. Jim Gannon tries to get it away, and the Saints hand there, managing to knock it backwards.
And Shields has it. Penkovic on. Who's he come on for, Darrell? I don't know if he can help me, but Mickey Iams come on for Iro. Bloom, the man that's been replaced. Wellens inside. Cunningham clattered there. 4 round him. Still can't get him down. Saints pressing. Hyam at dummy half. Bad ball. Stankovic being dragged toward the touchline.
Ball up him.
Clinch, is it?
Hughes.
Oh, Hughes pinches it 1-1.
Well, it's normally the domain of Gavin Clinch, but Adam Hughes stealing the ball. Duneman, long ball out wide to Donlan, and Donlan can't get away from Oppet. Halifax have made a bit of ground. McMenemy driving forward up towards halfway. All sorts of messing about the play the ball. As Penkovic takes the quick tap. And one wonders whether Saints were back the 10. Halifax will have another penalty. This time Duneman will deposit into touch on the Saints 20. Hobson powering towards that Saints line. Great run by Andy Hobson. And Saints slowing the play down again. Duneman to Gannon. Gannon looking to add to his 2 from last week. Dragged down a couple of metres short. Moana, Lawless back on the inside. Matauti slowing him down. Stankovic finishes the job. Duneman, Clinch to McMenemy. This is try time. Wellens won't stop McMenemy. Well, that makes up for that earlier kick. But Halifax had managed for once to suck the Saints defence into the middle of the field. And a long pass from Clinch. And McMenemy firing onto that one. Wellens was never going to stop him. And McMenemy making the kick a little bit easier for Gavin Clinch.
Yeah, the way he came through there, he steamed through McMenemy. He's not had a bad game, I say, he made a couple of errors, but making up there for the one, obviously taking the quick tap penalty and making a hash of it. It went dead. But when the ball came out there, Darrell, it looked as though Hoppy was going to come in. I thought he was going to intercept it, but obviously McMenemy closer to it. Got the ball, and Clinch with the conversion makes it all level in the second half, doesn't it? 12 apiece.
Just a shame about the 30 in the first half, isn't it, really?
As far as you were concerned, yes.
But there was a match a few seasons ago where I think Saints went in 28-6 at half-time and won by 28-26, I think, the narrowest margin after an almighty fight back by the Blue Sox in the second half. There's not going to be anything like that this afternoon, I wouldn't think. But Gibson brings it back to the 20 off the return from Sculthorpe's kick-off. McMenemy involved again, taking the ball up another 10 metres. I am trying to slow the play down. Gannon to Clinch to Moana. Moana can't find the gap. Penkovic inside to Gannon. Gannon to Hobson. Hobson takes Halifax over halfway. Duneman. Iams having a bit of a disagreement with Hobson. Duneman's taken down. The contact was high, but it didn't stop there long, as Clinch looks for a gap. Turned on his back by Matautia and Stankovic. Last tackle, Moana to Duneman. Duneman goes to the air again, not as far forward as he would have liked, I don't think. But it's... Well, I thought it was play on there. Wellens did well to pick it out of the air.
Yes, knocked back, I think, by Hall. Wellens did well. Here's Hall in possession. Lawless brings him to earth. Mickey Hyam attacked it. Well, nothing in that, is there? A penalty for holding down, supposedly, at the tackle. And very little in that at all. Sculthorpe finds touch. Shields. On the 40. MacDonald. Offloads. Hyam. Along the line. Sate spread it. Martin. Lovely hands. Stankovic. Drop off to Yonkers. Yonkers will take the tackle. Moana, one of the men, along with Clinch. Sculthorpe, centre field. He straightens it up. He's looking to unload. 4 around him. Finally bundled to the earth. Little bit of jiggery-pokery, Gannon and Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe is... he doesn't bother, he just takes it. But obviously, Gannon accused of a little bit of jiggery-pokery. The captain going to be spoken to. Obviously been yapping. And I would imagine Saints will go for goal.
That's penalty count.
Can't keep up with him. No, he's not. Well, he's not gone for goal. He's gone for position. Saints looking for 6 more points. Tommy Martin will restart. It's now with Matautia, first man. He'll take the tacklers. Gets the ball out of the tackle. Now it's with Stankovic. Inside, Martin. Lost his footing. Blue Sox tidy him up. Saints spectators don't like it. Yonkers. Tommy just organising his troops. Wants them out to the right, but it takes it to Sullivan. Flicks it out to the back door. Sullivan perilously close to the Blue Sox line. Martin. Sculthorpe has to take the tackle. And what a big tackle as well it was. Well, the referee says it was a high tackle. I mean, Sculthorpe's taken it. It didn't look all that bad here. As Martin. Cunningham looking for the hat-trick. And a high tackle again, and things just getting a little, tempers getting a little frayed. I didn't think there was much in this battle here with, was it Gannon and Sculthorpe? Looked a bit more in it on Cunningham there. But it's simmering and tempers getting a little frayed. Mr. Taberner going to have to sort things out. Saints with 2 quick penalties in succession. The touch judging on the far side. Something's going to be put on report. The referee's listening to the man in the stand. Is that Hobson or Hobson that's been Gannon that's been spoken to? So it's going to be a penalty to the Saints. A head-to-high tackle on.
It's so bad why didn't put it on report?
Yeah. Well, who's that just gone off? It's not Tommy Martin. Chris Joint on. I think it's Peter Shields. It was a blood bin substitution. Joint back on. Saints pressing. Checking it on the short side. Hoppy puts it out to the back door to Hall. Hall looking for the way through. 2 metres short. Hyam at dummy half. Well, when Hall's allowed to play the ball. Once again, Saints crisp hands. Sculthorpe. Stankovic tidies it up. The referee says the ball's gone forward.
First.
Head and feed at the scrum. Well, it's getting a joke, isn't it, Darrell?
Well, the referee's gone and looked at the touch judge again, And when we played Castleford here, with the same thing with young Silverwood.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays the we'll talk about that in a minute. Off goes Duneman, Sullivan after him, all after him, Joint after him. Duneman gets it away, try in the corner. And what a try, opened up again. And it looks like, well, it's not Donlan, Damien Gibson has scored a superb try after a great break from Duneman. Cracking try, brilliant try after the break from Duneman. Clint's wasting no time in trying to convert from the touchline. Missed the mark. But I was just saying, against Castleford we had young Silverwood, we've got this chap here always looking towards the touch judge and his in-goal officials, and I think probably nowadays there's too many decisions made, perhaps from the man on the gantry, perhaps when they're on Sky, because they're always going to a video round, so they always want confirmation and they're scared to make the decision themselves. So 42-22, Sculthorpe to kick off again, kicking deep. Duneman takes, gives it to Gannon. Gannon charging up to the 20, attracts 3 to him, and unloads to Penkovic. Penkovic pushes Matautier away, throws a stray pass which is picked up by Phil Hassan. Hassan tries to step Martin. Martin not falling for it. Goldspink back on, unloads to Penkovic. No way away from Matautier, this time from Penkovic. Moana acting after Clint. And Matautier trying to throw one. Donlan stepping back inside. Can't get past Oppet. McMenemy again, drawing in the defence. Gannon unloads to Goldspink. Goldspink to Moana, on to Lawless. Quick hands to Adam Hughes. 2-on-1. Adam Hughes goes through. Stankovic as well to make the tackle. Wouldn't be drawn, trying to slow the play down. Clint, Duneman, long ball out wide to Donlan. Donlan with space to work in. Donlan looking for support, gets it back to McMenemy. McMenemy to Clint. Clint out the back door. One too many, giving it away to Oppie. And here comes Saints on the counter-attack. Oppie looking for support, nobody with him.
Yeah, Hoppy in the way. Shields puts it out to Hall. Cries for a forward pass. Going unheeded by the referee. Sculthorpe, Wellens, Martin, short ball to Yonkers. Out to Stankovic. Thank you very much, Sullivan. In for his second, making the angle easier. 2 minutes to the final hooter. Saints' 8th try, Sullivan's second. He started us off in the 4th minute, and he's a good chance of finishing us off in the 38th.
Now that, I can't believe we didn't see that one.
So Paul Sculthorpe looking to keep a clean sheet, 8 out of 8. And it'll be level pegging if it finishes at this in scoring in the second half. Will that be right, Daddle? 18 apiece if he gets this.
No, we've only 16.
But did he miss the goal?
16 in the second half.
Well, you're 24, aren't you?
No, 22, we didn't convert that.
Oh, did you? Oh, did you know? What Gibson's try? Missed that?
Yeah, missed that, yeah.
Well. 16 to the Blue Sox, obviously in the second half, 18 to the Saints if he converts this. Well, that's gone away. There you are, I told you it was level pegging, 16 apiece. And there's the full-time hooter, bang on the 40 minutes. 30 points to 6 at half-time. Blue Sox needed to get back in the swing of it early in the piece. Unfortunately, they couldn't. 11 minutes had gone. Cunningham got a try. Sculthorpe goaled it. Then Clinch came with a try after 17 minutes. Bloom goaled it. 12 points to the Blue Sox, 36 to the Saints. Matauti with a try after what looked a debatable forward pass. Went unheeded. Sculthorpe goaled it. 30-point cushion for the Saints at 42-12. Good try by McMenemy. Run onto a lovely ball there. At pace. Clinch goaled it. Then a Gibson try, which went unconverted. And then Sullivan finished off at the end, 2 minutes from the final hooter. That went unconverted. 46 points to 24, the final score. Tough programme for you now, Darrell, as you